A very good evening to the teachers, parents, and students. I'm Sharini from SJKT Berwas as the moderator for today's session. Before I start, I would like to thank all of you for joining us today in our YouTube live classroom, which is brought to you by Sudaroli Valaiyoli YouTube channel in collaboration with the National Malaya Tamil School Teachers Union. I would like to convey our appreciation to the President of the Union and Headmaster of SJKT Bagan Serai, Mr. R.P. Jayagopalan, and not to forget the entire team working hard for us behind the screen. Ms. Parimala, our Education Officer from PPD Manjung, Mr. Gunalan, our Education Officer from PPD Manjung, Ms. Pusparada, the Headmistress of SJKT Kampong Columbia, Mr. Tanesh Balakrishnan, the ICT teacher from SJKT Ladang Nova Scotia 1, and Ms. Sarala Krishnan, the ICT teacher from SJKT Kampong Tun Sambandan. I would like to thank our Human Resource Minister, Dato M. Saravanan, the Perak State Education Department, Hilir Perak, Bagan Datuk and Manjung District Education Office, eDIDIK, MindAppz, Pertubuhan Kesusasteraan Bharati, and the online media supporters, anegan.com and Yen Tamil. Today is the first day of school. I hope you enjoyed and felt really happy meeting your friends and teachers after 4 months. Although the school has reopened, yet the spirit to educate our children through online will never fade among us as educators. We greatly value and appreciate everyone's support towards Sudaroli Valaiyoli team. Your constant support helps to boost our confidence and motivate us to do more for our community. Therefore, please allow me to introduce the speaker for today's session. She is Ms.Vhinahshini, an English language teacher currently teaching at SJKT Ladang, Teluk, Buloh. She has been teaching English for 4 years. She also holds a C1 in CEFR. Ms.Vhinahshini has been teaching English for UPSR classes for the past 3 years. She was also one of the facilitators for the educational camp sponsored by eDIDIK. Ms.Vhinahshini has conducted PLC for teaching English in Bagan Datuk District Tamil Schools and has also participated in OSIL Leo Forum. Dear students, there are a few reminders for you today. First, please use the chat box for any positive comments. Second, use appropriate language. Third, use the live chat to ask questions about today's topic. Fourth, and the most important one, don't post any unnecessary emojis and unwanted messages because it will distract the others. If anyone goes against the rules stated, the admin will block you from the live chat. Hope the rules are understandable to all. Without further ado, I would like to pass the session to our speaker today to start her lesson. So, Ms. Vhinahshini, let's explore past perfect tense together.
Thank you, moderator. Good evening, everyone. We meet again for the second time. This time, I would like to touch on past perfect tense. Previously, I have done some exploring on simple past tenses. Yeah. So today we are going to do exploring past perfect tense. Okay, children, I know you have heard about simple past tense and simple continuous past continuous tenses. But today we are going to learn something which is very strange, but it is also important for us to write in our sentences. All right, let us begin. Before that, as usual, I'm going to show you what are we going to do today. We are going to see what is past perfect tense, when are we going to use past perfect tense, how are we going to use past perfect tense, some practices, and a few common errors that we need to avoid, and a little bit of recap. Yeah? Okay. Before going into past perfect tense, let us just have some short recap on simple past tense. I hope everyone could recall and know about simple past tense. It is actually very common, and I have done the webinar previously. All right. It is very direct. It is past. It is about past. What have we done before now? Yeah. And basic and exceptions on the spelling. For example, when the verb changes to past tense, all right? When basic spelling and also exception spellings where the few alphabet changes to make it as past tense. And the pronunciation of different different words when we announce the sentences. All right, let's go to the introduction of past perfect tense. As you can see in your box, there will be some golden arrows. In the golden arrows, you can see the word now. All right. Next is past, right, which is about to happen before. Sorry, happen before now. Okay. For example, now is 6 p.m. For example, now is 6 p.m. The past will be 5 p.m. before now. All right. That already happened. All right. Past can also be at 4 p.m. Or much longer, which is yesterday, a week ago, or maybe a long, long ago. All right. So these are the concepts of past perfect tense. All right. We shall go deeper for us to understand here. Okay. As you can see here, these two sentences. The first sentence, the seminar started at 4 p.m. As you can see at the timeline, 4 p.m. The second sentence, we arrived at 5 p.m. These are two sentences that uses simple past tense. All right. Just now we saw 5 p.m. and also 4 p.m. is in the past. All right. Can you see the simple past tenses in both sentences? They are started with ed at the back and arrived with the ed at the back. ARRIVED. Alright. Past perfect tense. It is also known as past of the past. That means you're talking about the past, about past. Alright, there's double. Alright. So, how are we going to write them in a sentence? See, the two sentences, we merged it without writing the timeline. Okay. Without the time, we already know that what event happened first. By the time we arrived, that means before we arrived, we came to a place, the seminar had started. So what are you trying to say here is the seminar has started and we arrived late. So by the time we arrived, the seminar had started. So can you see the differences? When you join the sentences, it becomes past perfect tense sentence. Alright? Where are they? Where are the words which tells you that it is past perfect tense? Can you guess? Okay. This phrase, had started. Had started is the past perfect tense word. Okay. They have, if you can see on the first sentence up there, the seminar started at 4 p.m. So we changed it here to had started. Alright. Okay. Let us go in further so that you will understand better. Yeah. Okay. I hope you can follow. Next. Alright. What are these? I, you, we, they, he, she, it. Alright. These are pronouns. Alright. For any sentences, okay, mostly we will be using pronouns like I, you, we, they, he, she, and it. Okay. When you use this, the past perfect tense verb will be had. I had. You had. We had. They had. He had. She had. And it had. Alright? I hope you guys can follow. Alright. Now, the verb. Alright? You look at the verb. I had arrived. You had arrived. Or they had gone. He had gone. These phrases are called past perfect tenses phrases. Right? So, the most important thing in past perfect tense is that you must add in had. H-A-D. H-A-D, had, is the past tense for has and have. Okay, let's move on. Okay. All right. Since past perfect tense is used to show which event happened first, okay, it will indicate the first event by using past perfect tense, such as had started, had began, had gone, and so on. So when are we going to go and see on the timeline of the verbs? All right. Okay. Past perfect tense we can use it during short period of time, which is short time ago, or long time ago, or in a mixed time. Okay, let us see the example. Before her family arrived, Vanya had cleaned the house, had cooked dinner, and had watered her plants. Again, listen carefully. Before her family arrived, Vanya had cleaned the house, had cooked dinner, and had watered her plants. All right. If you can see the purple word arrived, it is simple past tense. It is before her family comes. Okay, arrive means comes. Okay, Vanya had cleaned the house, had cooked dinner, had watered her plants. That means before her family comes, she did all the job. Okay, that shows that had cleaned, had cooked, and had watered shows a short time ago. That means just before the family arrived, they have done all the all the work. All right. Next, long time ago. Okay. By the time Mithran got promoted, okay, promoted means you become a boss from being a normal worker to a boss, or from supervisor, you become a manager. Okay. So got promoted. Okay. For students, it can be from normal students, you got promoted into becoming a prefect. That is promoted. Yeah. By the time Mithran got promoted, he had pursued his degree, had gained experience, and had worked for 10 years in the same company. Okay. So before Mithran got promoted, he have to pursue his degree. That means he went to university. Had gained experience. That means he worked for and gained a lot of experience. And he had worked for 10 years. That means for 10 long years, he has been a normal worker. Only after 10 years, he got promoted. So that is what they meant about long time ago. So before he got promoted, he got his degree, he got his experience, and he worked in the same company for 10 years. Okay, I hope you understand. Okay, the last is mixed time. Okay, what is mixed time? Mixed time, it tells us what has already happened before something else comes in. Okay, for example, when the new when the new headmistress had appointed means there's a new headmistress coming to your school. Your old headmistress or headmaster might have gone to another school or they got retired. So a new headmistress or headmaster will be coming into your school, right? So that what it meant about had appointed. When the new headmistress had appointed, the school's achievement had improved. The teachers' bond had strengthened. Strengthened means strong. And the absentees of students had decreased. Absentees means you don't come to school. You simply take off. That is absentees. Okay, you are absent. Okay, so absentees of student had decreased. So before the headmistress came in, the school is already a very good school. The teachers are very friendly and very less absentees from students. That is what is meant about mixed time. Okay, I hope you guys can follow. Next, we shall go to the how it is applied. Okay, look at if you can see they are subject, then the word had, and past participle. Okay, it is just a normal word. Please do not get afraid of past participle. It just meant that it is a verb, but it is a little bit, it has a little change on its spelling. For example, past tense of go is went, but when you use past perfect tense, you won't use went. You will be using gone. So that is called past participle. All right, past participle. So they have two types of past participle, which are the regular and irregular verbs. All right. Okay. In the previous video, we had simple past tense, which has regular and irregular verbs. Right. It is the same thing. All right. It's just that a few of the verbs, maybe they might have changed some spellings, a few letters, or they might not change at all, but it sounds differently. Okay. All right. Next. Okay, we shall go for some examples of regular and irregular past participles or verbs. Okay, as you can see, talk becomes talked. All right, same as how the simple past tense usually are. All right, talk, talked, the ed at the back. Live, lived. All right, stop, stopped. If you can see, the P has been repeated because of CVC, CVC, consonant, vocal, consonant, vowel, and consonant. T, the consonant, O, the vowel, and P. When you have that three, you have to plus the last P. Okay, you have to repeat it. And then you write down ED. Okay, stopped. As for irregular verbs or irregular past participles, the word be becomes been, have becomes had, make becomes made, write becomes written. Okay, now you can see the past tense of write is wrote, right? Okay, wrote. But in past participle, it is written. Write becomes written. Okay. Next, you can see read. Read. You are reading book. Read. The past participle for read is read. You see, it's the same. It has the same spelling, but the sound, the pronunciation for the past participle or the past tense is different. Read becomes red, like the color red, like that. Sell becomes sold. Buy becomes bought. Okay, these are just a little small examples. I mean, a little bit of examples that I could give you. If you want to explore more on irregular and regular past participles, there are a lot of sources from online, internet, yeah, and also in grammar books. Okay, all right. Next, how are we going to write in a sentence? So I have separated it into positive sentences, negative sentences, and also questions. As for positive, you can see the pronouns I, you, we, they, he, she, it, and the verb, okay, had arrived and had gone. Arrived is regular past participle. And gone is irregular past participle, as gone is the past participle for go. Can you see the difference? Okay. So for positive sentences, we usually say or write, I had arrived, we had arrived, she had arrived. Or you had gone, she had gone, or it had gone. It is positive. When it becomes a negative sentence, all right, you add in not, or you shorten it up and becomes hadn't, had not, or hadn't. All right, I had not arrived. You hadn't arrived. They hadn't gone. She had not gone. Okay, can you follow? I hope you can. Next, we go to questions. As usual, the verb for questions, any questions, the verb will come first. All right. So, had you arrived? Had they gone? If let's say you want to use question words such as where, when, why, how, it is applicable. Okay, you can write. So you can, for example, we can say when had, sorry, where had you arrived? All right, or why had he gone? Or how had she gone? Okay, you add the question words in front of had and write the rest of the question with question mark. Please do not forget to write your question mark. If not, it will not become a question sentence. All right? Right, next. Okay, this is this is a special and unique one where subject with had and the past participle is to have. All right, if you change to have, it becomes had. To have in the sense like you have dinner or you have breakfast. I am having my breakfast. That is in present tense, right? So in in past perfect tense, how are we going to add on had? Since there is already another had, you can. All right. Okay. So let us check the positive sentence. All right. Nivesha had had breakfast. This is correct. Okay, why do I write it in a different color? So that you can see that the first had is the compulsory had. When you have past perfect tense, you must write had. And then verb next to it is supposed to be in past tense, right? So, to have in past tense is had. So, Nivesha had had breakfast. Okay, or another example, when I left home, Nivesha had had breakfast. This is correct. All right, I am stressing this again. This is correct. Can you follow? I hope you do. Next, we go to the negative sentence. All right, negative sentence. Because the had in the front had is the one that you have to add no. Okay, Sanya hadn't or had not had breakfast. Sanya hadn't had breakfast. That means she haven't eaten her breakfast. Yeah? Sanya hadn't had breakfast. When I left home, Sanya hadn't had breakfast. Can you follow? I hope you do. Okay, next. How are we going to write a question then? Are we going to write had or it's going to be a different way? Let us check. Okay, can you see now? Okay. Had you had breakfast? Had you had breakfast? Yeah, look closely. Had you had breakfast before leaving home? With the question mark, yeah? Don't forget your question mark. So, this is a very special one. All right? It doesn't mean that you have two had in a sentence, it is a wrong sentence. No, it is correct. Depends on the meaning of the sentence. Okay? Most of the time, it is for breakfast, lunch, dinner. Okay? So, you can use one word twice, which is had. Okay? Next. Contraction. What are contractions? Contractions are the short forms for I had, all right, or I had not. Okay, let us check one by one. Yeah, I had worked. What do you think the contractions will be? I'd work. Okay, if you didn't pronounce the d sound, it becomes I worked. I worked is simple past tense. It is not simple. It is not past perfect tense. So when you pronounce or you write the word, the sentences, you have to enunciate d. You have to pronounce d. Okay? Pronunciation is very important. Okay? I had worked becomes I'd work. I'd worked. Right? You had visited. You'd visited. Okay? We had seen. We'd seen. They had found. They'd found. All right? He had left. He'd left. Okay? She had bought. She'd bought. Okay. Now for the negative sentence. Just now, all the sentences, all the phrases that I mentioned are all positive. How about negative? Okay, look at this. I had worked. It becomes I hadn't worked. All right? I had worked becomes I hadn't worked. Okay, let us go back again. Right. I had work, I had worked becomes I'd work. You had visited becomes you'd visited. We had seen becomes we'd seen. They had found becomes they'd found. He had left becomes he'd left. She had bought becomes she'd bought. And as for negative, I hadn't worked. I hope you can follow. All right. Okay. Next, short answers, or mostly called as the yes or no answers. Yeah. Look, just look at the purple words. Observe it. Had she finished the homework? Had she finished the homework? whenever you have a verb in front, a question, it will automatically becomes a yes or no questions, or you can say yes or no answers, or more likely to know as short answers. Okay, any verbs in front like did, okay, for example did, and you have here had. So the answer, yes, she had. If it's a negative sentence, it's going to be no, she hadn't, or no, she had not. Yeah? Okay. The second one. Had they informed their clients? Had they informed their clients? Yes, they had. No, they hadn't. All right? Observe the sentences, the question and also the answers. Okay? When it when it is a yes and no answer, the verb in front of the sentence in the question will come at the back as the last word of the sentence. Remember that, yeah? Okay. Next. It's practice time. Okay, before that, I want you to look at the sentences. Okay, you could see a few blue highlighted words. Okay, these blue colored words is for you to understand that it is a past perfect tense sentences. Huh? Past perfect tense sentences. All right. Okay. Before the plane took off. Before the plane took off. You see, huh? Before the plane took off means before the plane started their destination. Okay, any destination. For example, it goes to from KLIA to Singapore. So it took off. Took off. The passengers, who are they? Passengers are those who are in the plane. Huh? The passengers find their seats, switch off their phones, and buckle. Buckle means you use the belt to lock yourself. It's buckle their seat belts. So what do you think will be the past perfect tense words? I think you can already guess the answer, huh? Because there are three verbs that are wrong. Okay, let us see now. All right, the first one, from find, it becomes had found. Okay, always remember to put had. The passengers had found their seats. And then next will be, yes, switch. So what does it become? Had switched. What is it? Had switched off. Switched off their phones. And lastly, yes, buckle. Buckle is a verb. So we change it to past perfect tense, yeah? Had buckled their seatbelts. Can you see how a verb changes to past perfect? Okay. Okay, let us see the second one. When she arrived home. That means when she just arrived home. Okay. She have not here the news yet. So where is the verb that which is wrong? Can you guess? Yes, it is hadn't heard. From have not heard, it becomes, sorry, hadn't heard. So when she arrived home, she hadn't heard the news yet. That means when she comes home, she doesn't know anything about the news. Okay? Okay. The third sentence. Look at the third sentence. At the time I joined the company. At the time I joined the company. So before that, something happened. Yeah? I was a salesperson for 5 years. So let's say he joined the company today. All right. Today, this year is 2020, right? So for 5 years before that, so from 2015 to 2019, sorry, 2014 to 2019, he was a salesperson. All right. So how are we going to change the verb into past perfect? Which one to change actually? Was. Okay. So it becomes had been. Why is it had been? Because was is the verb, the past tense for the verb be. All right. So when it comes to was, were, yeah, was and were, you change it to had been. Okay. At the time I joined the company, I had been a salesperson for 5 years. Okay. Now look at the last sentence. He lives in New York since 2018. Since 2018, he lives in New York. So something is wrong there. Which verb are we going to change? Yes, lives. So he had lived in New York since 2018. All right? Since 2018, he has been there in New York. Or you can always say he had lived in New York ever since he was a boy. Ever since he was a boy. So it has been there in New York. All right. I hope you understand. You could understand the concept of past perfect tenses. Always, always, always add had. You must put in had. And then the next word will be the verb. All right. Okay. Next, we shall see some common errors. Okay. Look at the sentence, the first sentence. Observe the sentence. What can you see from that sentence? He had went to the mall. If you remember, I told you that went is a past tense for go, but it is not the past participle. What is the past participle for go? Yes, it is gone. 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 Let us check whether it's the correct one. Yes, we had gone to the mall. So these are some errors or mistakes that some of you students might have written or say it out loud. Yeah. So When we have had, the verb becomes gone. All right? We had gone to the mall. If it's a regular past participle, it shouldn't be a problem. But when it comes to irregular past participle verbs, you have to change it. Yeah? You have to be um, you have to read more in order to know more varieties of irregular verbs. Next, who had planned the party? Okay, who had planned the party? You have the had, and planned is past tense. But what is wrong with the sentence? Okay, remember I did remind you about CVC, consonant, vowel, consonant. So plan, PLAN, LAN is consonant, vowel, consonant. Therefore, the last word have to be repeated again, and it becomes planned, PLANNED. Okay, these are the common mistakes and some careless mistakes that students um, regularly do. Yeah, so please be very attentive when you are writing, because a simple mistake will might give you some will be reduced. I mean, your marks will be reduced. Yeah, so please be attentive and vigilant. Okay, next, they hadn't been there before. This sentence looks all right, don't you think? What is the mistake then? Can you guess what is the mistake here? It is a very small and innocent mistake, but it is still a mistake. If you can see the spelling of hadn't, the comma above is not after D. It is supposed to be after N. Okay? The comma above is called apostrophe. What is it? Apostrophe. Hadn't. So it becomes hadn't, HADN apostrophe T. They hadn't been there before. Okay? It's just a spelling mistake, but it is still a mistake. Okay? Okay, next. Had you seen that movie before? It's a question, huh? So look at the answer. Yes, I seen. Is this a correct answer? It has yes, it has the pronoun I, and it has the verb. But is it correct? No, it is not. Remember when I told you before that in a short answer or yes or no answer, the first verb in front should be at the back of the answer. So the answer will be yes, I had, and no, I didn't. Is it correct? No, it is still hadn't. You don't change the verb. All right? The first verb in a question will become the last word in the answers. Yes, I had. No, I hadn't. That's all. You do not need to write, yes, I had seen that movie before. You can, but it is just going to make you to take more time. So yes, I had proves that you have seen the movie before. You do not need to write more. Yeah? Okay. The last one. When we arrived, he went out already. Look at this sentence. What do you think about this sentence? I think it's correct. Yes? Let us see. Okay, let us check whether it is correct or not. When we arrived, he went out already. This is a very commonly spoken by everyone. Okay, it is easy to say. He went out already. But is it correct? No. You supposed to say when we arrived, he had already gone out. All right? When we arrived, he had already gone out. Compare this and this. Sorry. He went out already and had already gone out. As I said before, went is past tense, not past perfect. So what is the past perfect tense? Gone. He had already gone out. So these are the common errors that mostly students will do. Okay. So I really hope that you realize the mistake. It is okay for you to make mistakes so that you will know you could learn better or you can understand better on past perfect tenses. All right. Always be vigilant or focus on the spelling, the punctuation like question mark, apostrophe, capital letters, and everything, and the structure of the sentences like the short answers and also like the last sentence that I just gave you. All right. So let's recap. So far, we have already gone through everything from what is past perfect tense. Okay. I hope could you are able to um, tell or able to write when past perfect tense is required. Okay. So past perfect tense is also called as the past of the past. Double. Okay. Double past. So past of the past. It means that, okay, um, it means that you want to check which past comes first. Okay, if this particular past comes first, you add in the past perfect tenses into your sentences. Okay, and then please check more on the past participle verbs. Okay, usually they have a very detailed and various past participle examples. Usually with present tense, simple past tense, and also past participle tenses. So if you can find that kind of how to say samples or the tables, it will be easier for you to be reference for, to write on or to memorize on. All right. Okay. Um, Next we saw the special sentences like when you add to have, the verb to have. Okay, for example, breakfast, dinner, and lunch. So I hope students can understand or can realize that there can be two had words in one sentence. It depends on the meaning of the sentence. Mostly had means eat, okay, or to take. Like eating breakfast, you say I had breakfast. So you can add in had, all right, in one sentence. All right. Next, after that, we did some practices, and then I really hope that during that practices you are able to answer. And when we are giving the quiz later, I really hope that everyone could answer the questions and could write a better essay using past perfect tenses. That is all from me today. I'm going to take this opportunity to thank everyone who joined this webinar, and also the organizers of this channel for giving me the chance today. Okay, I shall pass this to my moderator. Moderator, please.
Wow, that was a great exploration. Thank you for the clear explanation on past perfect tense, teacher. I hope all the students understand today's session very well. I hope the students have learned something new too. Okay, since we do not have any questions from the floor, Ms.Vhinahshini, would you like to tell anything to the students? Or would you like to advise them?
All right. It's just that for tenses, it is very easy once you have mastered it. Do a lot of practices. Speak with proper sentences and proper grammar structure. It will really help you in your exams or in communicating in English later on. That's all from me, Miss Moderator.
Okay, thank you, teacher. And students, please take note, okay? Okay, there's an announcement for everyone, especially the students. For your information, from this week onwards, the link of the quiz will be posted in the Telegram group on the next day after each classes. So please don't forget to join the Telegram group. And here, thank you, teacher, for your clear explanation on the topic. On the behalf of the Sudaroli Valaiyoli team, we would like to thank Ms.Vhinahshini for spending her time and giving some useful information. Special thanks to all our viewers out there for being with us throughout the session, whether on YouTube or Facebook Live. Don't forget to subscribe our channel and click the notification bell for upcoming classes. That's all for today. Meet you again in the next lesson. Take care and goodbye.